and welcome back to my channel. My name's Amanda and I'm happy that you're here. In this episode of Midnight Murmurs, we are revisiting another book from my youth, one that still has the price tag attached. In this episode, I will be reading selections out of the Golden Christmas Treasury, 25 stories, poems, and carols. So this book was $7.98 in the early 90s. The selections I've picked out for you today are mostly poems and short stories. We'll be avoiding the carols for obvious reasons. So the selections that we will be reading today are A Catch by the Hearth, Christmas in the Country, The Lights on the Christmas Tree, which really was the selection that I wanted to share most with you today, Visit, Round the Year to Christmas, Stocking Song on Christmas Eve, and Legends of Christmas. So if you're in the mood for some Christmas spirit, I invite you to grab a cozy beverage, kick back, and let's dive in. Prost. A Catch by the Hearth. Sing we all merrily, Christmas is here, the day we love best of the days in the year. Bring forth the holly, the box, and the bay. Deck out our cottage for glad Christmas Day. Sing we all merrily, draw round the fire, sister and brother, grandson and sire. This is a book for children, so the poems are on the shorter side. All right, moving on, we have a short story called Christmas in the Country by Barbara Collier and John R. Foley. Betty and Bob were going to the country to spend Christmas with grandmother and grandfather. They rode through the snowy countryside, and when they arrived at the station, there was grandfather waiting to greet them with a great big sleigh. There were hugs and kisses all around, and then they all piled into the sleigh. The sleigh bells went tinkle tinkle, the horses went snort snort, and off they rode down the snowy village streets. Soon they were all greeting grandmother at the door of the cozy farmhouse. "My, how you've grown!" she said. "Come along now and get washed up." "I have some important business with Bob over at the edge of the pasture," grandfather said. "What is it? May I come too?" Betty asked. "It's a secret," grandfather said very mysteriously. "Never mind you, child," grandmother said. "You come along to the kitchen. I have a secret for you too." Chop, chop, chop went the secret in the pasture. Stitch, stitch, stitch went the secret in the kitchen. "My secret is round and red, and there's a lot of it," Betty said at the dinner table. "Mine is big and pointy and smells good," Bob said. Bob's surprise was standing in a corner of the parlor. It was big and pointy and smelled very good. It was the Christmas tree. What a wonderful busy time there was then, with the lights to put on, and the boxes of colored balls, and angels and stars. And Betty hung her cranberry chain on the tree all by herself. And then the family gathered around the old piano to sing carols. But it had been a long, busy day, and Betty's eyes began to close. And before the last notes of Silent Night were sung, she was fast asleep in grandmother's rocker. So grandfather carried Betty up to bed, and grandmother took Bob by the hand. "Grandmother," Bob asked as she tucked him in, "is everybody in the world getting ready for Christmas the way we are?" "Everybody," grandmother assured him. "Why, I dare say over in the barn at this very moment, even the animals are getting ready. Perhaps they're having a tree of their own, and of course the hen would be making corn garlands for it, just as Betty made her cranberry chain. And the pigs, well, they'd surely be seeing to the goodies for the next day's feast. if they didn't eat them all up themselves first. And the cows might be wrapping presents. My, how handy their horns would be! And the little lambs, of course, would give the wool for Christmas stockings. Perhaps they'd even learn to knit themselves, since Christmas is a magic time where anything can happen. Even the littlest animals do their bit to help, until at last it's time to go to sleep. And now it is time for this little one to go to sleep too. For remember, everywhere on Christmas Eve, to all good children, Santa Claus comes. I think this was a very sweet story about a pair of grandparents spending time with their grandchildren. I wanted to include it because not every family looks the same, but at Christmas time, as long as you're gathered round with your loved ones, that's all that matters. And even if you're not able to be with your loved ones, please know that you deserve a good Christmas too. You deserve rest, relaxation, and time to hibernate in this winter season. And now for the story that I'm excited the most to share with you all. The Lights on the Christmas Tree by Florence Page Jocks. Once, the Christmas tree lights were not lights at all. They were the colors in the rainbow. Just a perfectly good rainbow, the kind you see in the sky after a rain. And when Santa Claus made the very first Christmas tree, it was easy to see that he needed a rainbow for decoration. But all the decorations he had were white. He lived at the North Pole then, you know, as he does now. And when he had powdered the tree with snow and hung icicles all over it and tied snowballs on the end of the branches, he looked at it and said, "No, it's pretty, but it ought to have some color on it. It needs red and green and blue and gold." "Oh, Santa Claus," said the littlest white bear, "let's put a rainbow on it." "That's just what it needs," Santa Claus agreed. "I'll send the biggest white bear to get one." "Oh," said the littlest white bear. He was so disappointed that tears came to his eyes. "I was the one who thought of the rainbow. I think you might let me find it." "All right then," Santa Claus said kindly. "But you must be very careful. Rainbows are easy to break, you know, and really you are the clumsiest funny little bear." "Oh, I will be careful," promised the littlest bear, and he ran and ran on his fat little legs until he found the most beautiful rainbow. Then he picked it and hung it over his back and went home to Santa Claus, walking very carefully. He walked safely past the snowfields, and safely past icebergs, and safely past the slippery slides, and at last he came to Santa Claus' steps, and saw Santa Claus in the doorway, waiting for him. "Hurrah!" he laughed, waving his little front paws in triumph. "Here it is!" And just then, both his back feet slipped, and boom! He fell on his back, and the rainbow was broken into 1,000 pieces. "Don't cry, don't cry," said Santa Claus, hurrying down the steps. "You aren't hurt." "No, but the rainbow is," sobbed the littlest white bear, "and I tried so hard to be careful." "Never you mind," Santa patted him gently. "We'll put the pieces of the rainbow on the tree." So they picked up a blue piece and put it here, and they picked up a red piece and put it there, and the Christmas tree was prettier than if the rainbow had been all together. "Oh," said the littlest white bear, "I'm glad it fell down." And ever since then, we have had beautiful rainbow-colored lights on the Christmas tree. Isn't that the sweetest little story? It reminds me of Bob Ross. There's no mistakes, there's just happy accidents. So cute. I love a rainbow colored tree. Why don't we sound off in the comments? I'm interested, dear listener. What do you prefer? Do you like a Christmas tree that only has white lights on it? Or do you like a Christmas tree that has rainbow colored lights on it? I know it's a polarizing question, but I personally have the timer on that fluctuates in between the two, so I can get the best of both worlds. Next we have another short little poem called Visit by Katherine Jackson. Ride in the elevator. What floor? Toys. Line up in the eager throng of girls and boys. Move up closer and closer past the Christmas tree. Your turn. It's your turn to sit on Santa's knee. Do kids go visit Santa Claus in the mall anymore? I have tons of pictures from when I was little and going to see Santa. Let me put one of them right here. I like this one because it looks like I'm actively disassociating, and Santa's just like, that's how it is. Next, we have a selection that reminds me a lot of Robert Frost called Round the Year to Christmas. In the spring, Christmas seems a long time away, but the lambs and the sheep are feeding in the pasture, so their wool will be long and thick for Christmas socks and mittens. The apple and plum trees are in blossom for Christmas fruit, and Farmer Brown has planted seeds in the soft brown earth of the garden plot. Christmas is coming, but a long way off. As spring turns into summer, Christmas comes closer. Farmer Brown tends to the fruits and the vegetables that Mother will fix for Christmas dinner. Small green apples and plums appear on the trees. The sheep and lambs are shorn of their wool, so it can be made into yarn. But the children and cows nap in the warm shade, with scarcely a thought of winter's cold joys. For it is still a long time till Christmas. Autumn is here. Now the fruits of the summer are gathered in, the squash and potatoes and onions and such. Farmer Brown and his wife harvest golden corn and fat orange pumpkins, some for scary jack-o'-lanterns, some for holiday pumpkin pies. The apples are red now, and the plums deep blue, and all ripe for the pickers. Down in the woodlot, the Christmas tree stands green and full among the fading autumn trees. And in the busy kitchen plum puddings are made, and the rosiest apples set aside for Christmas stocking toes. For Christmas is not such a long time away. It is winter now. Snow is on the ground, and the children are sledding on the garden slopes. Christmas is just one day off. Inside the farmhouse, Mother Brown is baking pies for Christmas dinner. Tomorrow everyone will eat his fill of turkey or of goose. There will be presents to open and friends to see. And then Christmas will be over. But not for long, for soon spring will be here again, and in the garden and meadows all over the farm, a new Christmas will be growing. I like this selection because I feel like this is a very good example of a stereotypical 20th century celebration in America of Christmas, of on the farm, we grow all year round, and in the Christmas time, we get to enjoy the spoils of our harvest. I also like that this is pointing out the secular nature. I know for myself, and probably a lot of you out there, after Christmas is over, I get sad because there's so much left of winter. It's dark, it's snowy, it's gloomy. Spring seems so far away after you take down all the Christmas lights. And I love how this story points out that it's a cycle, baby. Christmas is coming right as soon as it's over, whether we like it or not. I also like that the story points out that no matter where we are in the cycle, we're appreciating where we are and we're not looking backwards or forwards. We're knowing that in the present is where we need to be. Oh, the picture is so cute. This is Stocking Song on Christmas Eve by Mary Mapes Dodge. Welcome, Christmas, heel in toe. Here we wait thee in a row. Come, good Santa Claus, we beg, fill us tightly, foot and leg. Fill us quickly ere you go. Fill us till we overflow. That's the way, and leave us more, heaped in piles upon the floor. Little feet that ran all day twitch in dreams of merry play. Little feet that jumped at will lie all pink and white and still. See us, how we lightly swing. Hear us, how we try to sing. Welcome Christmas, heel and toe. Come and fill us ere you go. Here we hang till someone nimbly jumps with treasures down the chimney. Bless us, how he'll tickle us, funny old St. Nicholas. Cute. I hope Santa comes and puts gifts in my stocking. I feel like I've been good this year. All right, we've made it to our last selection out of the Golden Christmas Treasury. Legends of Christmas by Aline Fisher. On Christmas Eve, while hamlets sleep, the wild bees wake and sing. Above the frosty fields they sweep to praise a newborn king. But none except the pure of heart, with insight where to go. But none except the pure of heart may know. On Christmas, at the quiet hours, the valley and the hill turn blue with hosts of starry flower that out of heaven spill. But none except the pure of heart with eyes of clarity, but none except the pure of heart may see. On Christmas Eve at 12 o'clock, the cattle kneel to pray, and lamb and ox and crowing cock have human words to say. And none except the pure of heart who have an inner ear, but none except the pure of heart may hear. I think the picture is super cute on this story too. The little girl with all of her farm animals. Also, I'm going to talk here so I have time to show you the really cute illustration on the front and back of the cover of this book. It's so beautifully done. I love when you can tell that somebody put time and passion into curating the stories and illustrations into these anthologies. I really appreciate it. They really do stand the test of time. So, dear listener, what did you think? Did you like the Golden Christmas Treasury? I think it's a very cute book for children. If I can find it, I will put a link to it in the description. Not sponsored or anything, I literally found this on my bookshelf. So, if you enjoyed our time together today, please be sure to like the video and subscribe for more videos like this coming your way very soon. So, with that being said, I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season, and I'll see you in the next video. Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year. Prost!